Hey everybody, I appreciate you coming by today. Yeah, sorry, but it's kind of a darker, lighting. We got a big storm on the way, and in fact, they're talking where I'm at about 4 to 5 feet. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes they it doesn't come through. Sometimes it does, but we got to be ready. So anyway, this is one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in my life. Not the worst, but one of the worst. And I wanted to tell you about it. Back when I was 27 years old, 73 now, we bought the little 17 acres. We have 55 now. So we bought that, and we obviously didn't live on it when it was just a 17-acre piece, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. There was a big single road that just went through to the center of it, to a big courtyard, as I call it, a big flat area. I've since then put in all kinds of roads and everything else, but that was a long time ago. But when I was 27, we bought that, and we were still living at another place. And but it took us maybe a year or so to get a small cabin built when we moved onto it. I think something like that. Oh, there's Max. We got a King Shepherd. Got a couple of them. Kind of neat dogs. So I decided one day that we had to get some firewood. Winter was here, and we're getting a little low. So I had a Dodge pickup, a good old truck that threw a U-joint, and I'd put the U-joint, in the drive shaft, got it repaired, but I didn't put it in the truck yet. So, but I decided I was go get some firewood on the property which bought, a little 17 acres. So I was going to do that. Now this is something that I kicked myself in the butt for. This is where you're talking about being a stupid idiot. It just, I did so many stupid things. Just stupid, not even thinking when I was a kid. And this is one of them. And I paid the price too. But anyway, so I said, well, I don't want to put the front drive shaft in yet. I could have done it in 15 minutes and been done with it. But anyway, well, there's a storm brewing here. I'm going to run over, get a quick 3/4 cord or whatever I'm going to get, and come on back, and I'll just drive over with the drive shaft, and it'll have two-wheel drive, so it'll be fine. So anyway, so I hightailed it out of there. Didn't bring any my tennis shoes. I were in there, so I didn't bring any heavy coats or nothing. I says, well, I'm going to get over there before it really rains. A little drizzling wouldn't be too bad, and I'm going to get the wood and I'll get out, even though I have to go uphill, to get out. So two-wheel drive pickups don't do too good. And like I said, back then, the road I had was one, only way in, only way out. And it wasn't great rocked or graveled or anything. They are now, for the most part. Even the big oddball roads are graveled, compounded, they're good shape. Back then, it was just a big mud. There was nothing. The roads that were put in were basically logging for logging roads, to get tractors in, to get logs out. I mean, and when they leave. They're rutted and they're ugly. And that's how it was when I first, being 27 years old. That's what happened. So I got that. So I went out and I got about maybe 3/4 of a cord maybe in the truck, and it'd been raining a little bit, and I thought, see, now I would have been out of there. As soon as the first drop hit my nose, I'd have got to be out of there, fast, right now. And but I didn't, so I got the load tied down and everything. It's all by myself and everything out in the middle of 5-6 miles from nowhere. And so I get out and I'm going and I'm getting the load tied down. It starts pouring rain. I mean, pouring. I mean, hard, really, really hard. So then I'm going up, and I got this. I'm going out, and where I have to starts to climb out. Being a two-wheel drive truck, it got stuck. And another thing I kind of did stupid was that, well, when you get stuck in a vehicle like that, you don't try and goose it, trying to, because you just dig yourself a hole, you sink in it. You're better off to spin, realize you're stuck, get out. It's a lot easier to get out later, or get a tug or whatever you're going to do. But anyway, I goosed it, and the whole truck just sank, because it was really, it had been raining a little bit out there before. And so the truck just sank. I mean, it sank bad. Like the rear bumper, like this is the bumper, ground was here. And it's a four-wheel drive truck, And the front was damn near buried. The front bumper was, I think, damn near buried in the muck too. And it was just muck. Going downhill to get into the property was not too bad, little muck, but going out, I know better now, and have for a long time, but I didn't know then. So anyway, some goose and sank, and I didn't know what to do. I'm all by myself. There's no cellular phones yet. There's, out in the middle. You've heard the story before if you follow my channel a little bit. So I don't know what to do. I got a little kind of a windbreaker thing that I'm wearing for a coat, tennis shoes, and it's muck. I mean, it's slimy and really coming down. It's been coming down for maybe 20-30 minutes by then. And I'm trying to get out, and I couldn't back up. I couldn't do it. I was stuck. I was flat stuck in the rain, miserable, cold, and I didn't know what to do, and I kept thinking, I don't want, the only phone we had was, because they didn't have cell phones back then, was about 5.5 miles away. There's a little volunteer firehouse, and it had a payphone there. And thank goodness I had change, because I had to go call Connie to come get me. So I bit the bullet, and I just started walking up. And I'm walking up, and I'm falling down in the muck. I mean, I'm walking uphill in the slime, and I'm falling down, and I'm hoping I got to get to the asphalt road, which is about a mile up, and so maybe I'll catch a ride. So I come hell or high water. It took me long enough. I finally got to the asphalt road. Now from the asphalt road, we got about 5 miles to get to the payphone. And the main road's an asphalt road. It doesn't really get plowed. Now it does, since we've been there. But back then, they didn't even plow it at all, So I got up to the main road, and of course, it's a desolate road. I mean, there's nobody, the road doesn't go anywhere but by my place. And it doesn't go, it doesn't feed anywhere. I mean, it doesn't feed go to another town or anything like that. It just, So I'm hoping that I'm going to get a ride, and I didn't. And it's pouring, like I say, it is pouring and pouring. I'm soaked. I'm falling down. I got mud all over my pants. My tennis shoes are all full of muck. And so I start heading down. There's nothing I could do, So I'm walking in the rain, and I mean serious rain. You know how you hate rain where rains kind of hard and it backs off and drizzles and then it leaves, No, this is just hard rain, pouring rain. And I'm dripping wet. I mean, and it takes me, I got to walk in the mountains. I got to walk, about 5 miles. And so I'm walking, and finally, and I'm hungry and wet and cold, and just the wind's blowing in my face, and I'm just having a lousy time out there. And no one's come along. There hasn't been anybody on the road. I mean, I could probably go out. I used to joke about, I could probably go out at the time and take a snoozer in the middle of the street for an hour and not have to worry about getting hit. It was that bad. So I got about a mile from the payphone, and I hear a car coming, and it's a little economy car, so I got my thumb out, and they pull up about 40 feet ahead of me, so I have to walk up. I wonder, why do people especially in the movies. When they got a hitchhiker, they always pull up 40, 50 feet ahead of them, and then the guy's got to, you know, walk up way up there. Why don't they just pull up next to the guy? I don't know, but this is what this guy did. And, you know, and there are a couple of young guys in it. But anyway, I look like hell. I mean, I look like some serial killer because I'm basically covered in mud. I fell down in the muck and the mud. You know, I'm dripping with wet. I had longer hair back then, and my hair's hanging down. I look gnarly, you know, and I've been cutting wood. I got my ragged kind of wood cutting clothes on. I look really, you know, I wouldn't let me in the car, period. And they didn't either. I walked up to the car, and they took one look at me, and they were out of there. They just burned rubber or whatever out. They didn't want no part to me. And, you know, because I walked up and I kind of, you know, knocked on the door, you know, because they didn't roll the window down or anything. But I could see both of them, there was two of them, and they took one look at me and they hightailed it. So I go, doggone it, you know, so shit. I went ahead and I walked the other way in there, you know, the mile down, and I got to the phone. So then I went ahead and I called the wife, and I told her, I said, well, you get the, you know, I told her about the dry shaft and the tools and everything. Didn't tell her to bring a shovel though, you know, like another idiot thing, you know. So she says, okay, and it takes her, we're close to an hour away where we lived at the time. And she got everything, and by the time she got everything, got the other truck in, which was a two-wheel drive. It was a little car we had, correct me, a little station wagon thing, a small, I think it was, two-wheel drive. So she drove, and it took her about an hour and a half to get there. By the time she got everything, and you know, everything ready to go, and so it's still pouring. It still hasn't stopped. And I went. There was no shelter. There's no shelter there anywhere. So the only shelter I got is a little cedar tree, and it's a small one, you know. But you know, so I'm under that. I'm around where the trunk is, you know, because the leaves are over me, and which isn't like a roof. I mean, they're dripping through there, but it beat being standing out there. So I'm sitting there for an hour and a half. I'm right underneath this little cedar tree, sitting on the, you know, my butt's on the, you know, on the wet asphalt or dirt, whatever it was. So anyway, about an hour and a half later, she comes there, and I'm shivering. I'm a mess, and I'm wet and muddy, and so anyway, we drive back up to the new property, and we drive in as far as we can go, you know, because we only have a two-wheel drive. So I took the dry shaft, left her up there, and I started walking down. And I'm walking downhill, you know, to get to where the truck is. Now here's where the bad part starts. I mean, this has been no problem until this. So the truck had sank, you know, down because of me, and it sank, you know, and I had to dig under the truck, because I had to get where the front drive shaft's about where the engine is and stuff, and you know, if you don't know, and I had to put this drive shaft in, and all I had to dig with, because I didn't have the wife bring a shovel or anything like an idiot, so I got these firewood or wedges, and what they are is they're a big plastic wedge, and you know, if you don't know, for you know, fallen timber and you know, things like that. I had two of those. That was the only thing I had. And the side of the car, where the door is the dirt's just right up to the basically pretty much to the bottom of the cab. I mean, it's you know, and I've got to get in there, and I spent an hour probably. I had to dig a hole in the pouring rain, face down in the mud, and I had to take these you know, these wedges, and I'm digging out, and I had to dig me, you know, something, well, see, but you know, something what I could squeeze in under the car so I could get to where the drive shaft is. So it took me a long time digging, and so I got me a little pad down underneath the car, and I'm looking, you know, as I slide in on my back, hair in the mud, you know, ears full of mud, and I'm sliding in there, and I'm like right here. This is the bottom of the truck, and I'm here, and I'm doing this, and I finally, I got the dry shaft in. Miserable, and I've been laying right in the mud. I didn't have her bring any tarps or anything. I just laying right in it, hairs in it, faces in it. Miserable day, and it's still pouring rain. So anyway, so I finally got that in, and I decided to get the truck out, which pretty good trucks at the time. So I drove out, and the wife followed me home. And the first thing I did is I got in that tub for about an hour, got nice and warm, and and everything else. But that's one of the worst days of my life, not the worst. And I know a lot of you guys can say, "Well, I've had a lot worse days." And I know. I'm not saying that you never had a bad day either. But anyway, that's one of my stories about bad days. But a day I should have known better, but I didn't. I was 27 years old, and stupid as a jaybird. I didn't know nothing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little piece. Thanks.